to the foundation of the music, to all the godfathers who set
it. It's that time. Musically speaking, I suppose it's a record. After 27 years, Musically Speaking is back. What a break. But that's only possible through the Bridge 99 FM. We span time and space with the Bridge. And Musically Speaking is back with me, Clyde Mckenzie. Wow, what a show we have. In the first hour, we'll be talking about covers. And I have an exceptional person to speak about that. Someone very special. You'll hear more about that in just a little while. In the second hour, I have another extraordinary guest, a man who has done so much in terms of music locally and internationally. You'll hear about him later on. But first of all, I want to just play a snippet of songs from my first guest. Listen to this.
Hey girl, do you know me? You don't know me at all. But if you want to know me, listen.
everything and them call me Miss a Lover, man, them call me Miss a Lover.
I'm not gonna take it easy.
Wow. Listen to that montage. And this is the work of one man. This man has been involved in every one of these songs as producer, as songwriter. You know, he is just exceptional. Talking about none other than the man, Mikey Bennett. Mikey, are you there with me?
Yes, boss. See, I dance though.
What you mean? Man, I must dance when we are play them tune, man.
Well,
Mr. Lover, man, and House Call and them tune, man. We are talking. Anybody who wrote or produced just one of those songs would have been great. You know? And to think one man has produced those songs, and that is just a small sampling of what this man has done. And so today we're talking about covers, another aspect of music and hit making, which many people are familiar with. And we're going to be talking just why do people use covers? Do they have a special role in music? Because for me, I have noticed that many songs from Jamaicans that have hit internationally have been covers. You look in Britain, I mean, the very first one, My Boy Lollipop, was a cover, you know, and you go all through Ken Booth, Everything I Own, and you know, all of these songs, I Want to Wake Up With You, Boris Garden, and so many of them are covers. And there is something special about these covers, Mikey, and we want to talk about them. There is one I'm going to play before we start talking, and that is Young, Gifted, and Black, Bob Andy and Marcia Griffiths.
You're young, gifted, and black. Your soul's intact. Young, gifted, and black.
Versions, cover, call them what you want. Mikey, some of the greatest hits have been covers. People do them first, sometimes you don't know of them, and then somebody takes them and it becomes a smash. What is the magic you think of a cover, Mikey?
Well, covers have a different, varied thing. When you think about the early Jamaican covers, like on the studio one, I think producers from time to time realize that particular artists have great voices, but they're not good writers. And we didn't understand the music industry to realize that in the bigger places, the songwriter was the most important. It wasn't that way in Jamaica. In the major companies, the songwriters were the most important aspect because the whole music industry is centered around this song.
Yeah, the song.
So
the song is the most
whoever can produce the most songs have the better option. I remember Gussie Clark and I have this joke. Gussie was the one who introduced me to songwriting at the professional level and made me know that there could be a career out there. One of the things that we hope in every day is to get a call from somebody that they covering one of my songs. So sometimes when we think about covering in Jamaica, it's almost a slightly negative. So when we think about Sanchez and Ghost and all the people who made a living from covering, a lot of times you can hear a little kind of disrespect in the tone. Boy, I'm only sing cover songs. But you know what it is I say? These people want to sing the best songs that are available to them. They know their limitations as writers, and because the system in Jamaica did not have that thing set up, so boy, we didn't encourage more writers from high school to come and join the music industry. So there was a challenge to get songs. Now the Coxsone used to go away and travel and find these songs. So I have no doubt that even in the case of my boy Lollipop, Blackwell heard it, no song, and said, listen, I know this song could do well in this particular marketplace. And that is what takes place more times than not. Producer hears a song and says, in the early days, later on it became a little more widespread. People hear a song and could hear themselves singing the song. The thing with that also is that you get a little advantage because you know how radio time go and repetition and rotation. So it takes the audience a little time to get familiar with words and melodies. When there's a popular cover and the person who does it does not only justice but adds a new flavor, like I said, we add the jerk sauce to it and make it them. Because songwriting, as I tell my students, is who is talking to who about what and what are the conditions involved. So when you can take a situation that took place in a foreign land and sound that way and reinterpret it with a reggae beat, a dancehall beat, with even the Jamaican accent or add a new, feel like a phrase on here. So the Jamaican person who is listening to this feels, especially if they're living abroad, and we've been told this when we're on tour, that boy, that song just make me feel. I knew Whitney Houston version, but when I hear that version, it just make me think of home. So there are many reasons why these things. One is that there's this vast library of songs to choose from, and people choose the ones that they like or ones that they think the public will like, and there's an advantage because there's a little familiarity. And we know how that goes in terms of familiarity. So by the time the song plays 2 times, everybody can sing it. When you get people to start singing a song,
then you're gone. No, you touch on 2 very important points, Mikey, because you talk about the stigma attached to covers in Jamaica, and you also speak about the issue of familiarity. I have a little theory about covers. I say specifically young artists who are trying to make breakthroughs. They should go for covers because what you have are new in terms of artists and new in terms of a song. So you reduce the bandwidth that is required to really appreciate the song. Because when you do the cover, they don't have to be worrying about the song, knowing the song. They might just be worried about knowing you, the artist. So I suggest all the time to artists that, you know, it's best when you are introducing yourself if you go with the familiar. And you've made that important point, Mikey, about the familiar yet the new, because if you're going to do a cover and it's going to be a facsimile of something that has been done before, then there's no point in doing it. You have to put yourself in that place and make it now become yourself, or it really isn't any good.
I don't want to tell you, no, Clyde. As you know, when you listen to some of the classics from the John Holtz and the great, Delroy Wilson thing, and you get used to it, and then you hear many years later, I became aware of the originals. I realized that our versions were much better. Much better versions. So one of the genius of the Coxsone and that era was the interpretation, how they made these songs so relevant, and the rhythm, the music for them was just so proper. And like I tell people all the time, probably the fact that some of our singers could not imitate the American singers any closer, it made it more Jamaican, it made it real, and it made it connect a little more. And I'm happy for that. But like I say, it is out of respect for a song. I mean, Luther Vandross, majority of Luther Vandross songs were covers. And the Luther Vandrosses of this world, when they're going to do an album, the producers listen to 500 songs that people wrote and sent in. Our Jamaican artists don't have that luxury. Very few. I mean, if you're working for Augusta Clark or German, then yeah, you're gonna get a whole bunch of songs that come in for. So when we're doing a Dennis Brown album, we wrote about 30 songs, and so we're able to choose. But very, very few artists get that luxury of being able to listen to a whole barrage of songs. You know, and then the whole question, I mean, we weren't even thinking publishing at the time, because nobody knew about publishing. And that is probably something that we can probably talk about at another time.
And that's an important point, because in the old days, many artists were covering without making reference to the original creators of the song. That was happening a lot here.
Don't start up singing about.
No, I'm not starting up anything. But what was happening is that many times an artist from abroad would come to Jamaica and you put him on a show, and he would know that many of his songs are hits here, and you'd have to produce him because he didn't know that song that people are raving about in his catalog. He might not have done it for 30 years. But the same thing was happening because you had a lot of Jamaican artists who were doing songs, and the owners of the song never heard them, because it wasn't like today where you have social media and all of that, so people can pick up these things. So I mean, these songs, people would cover them and you'd get the impression that it's theirs, and after a while,
or they didn't make a big enough impact on this scene. Yeah, so
they
weren't played on mainstream radio in America or England. So the average, publisher probably didn't pick it up,
And the thing is, as you said, some of us, in terms of Jamaican artists, we did some fabulous renditions of the cover songs. I mean, take for example Ken Booth and what he did with Bread's Everything I Own. Yeah. I mean, that is really a classic. And we have Everything I Own as one of the songs that we're also going to be playing today. Because that to me and it is really a first class rendition, and one of the songs where you didn't even know that an original existed. I mean, most people, when I said to them, Everything I Own is not an original song from Ken Booth. I said, no, man, because they never heard Bread's version. But let's do some more covers, Mikey, and I will get back to our chat.
Please.
The Beatles' Long and Winding Road, redone by Dennis Brown. A classic, if ever there was one. Mikey, one of the things I've noticed is that we in Jamaica, we have done quite a bit of songs that have been done originally overseas, and they've hit overseas. And it comes back to the point you're making about the familiarity and the novelty being juxtaposed. Because when you take a number of the songs we have done, for example, the Nina Simone with Bob and Marcia, and that did well in Britain, and Ken Booth and the Bread song, it did well in Britain. These are top of the pop songs.
Boris
Gardner, Want to Wake Up With You, which we're going to be playing later on. These songs, it speaks to the question of the familiarity meeting the novel. So familiarity meeting novelty. And it creates that kind of a hit.
And being well done.
Yes. I mean, that's no question, because in all of those instances, those songs were internationally acceptable in terms of their standards, their production standards. And that's what we have to strive for when we're doing covers, because it's not just a matter of doing over a song. It must be about doing over a song to make an impression.
All right, could I get a little philosophy, a little thing out? All right, so like I said, the song is about who is talking to who about what. What are the conditions, what are the emotional things. we had a problem writing love songs, do we? In other words, in patois or in whatever. So because that's just because in our educational system, in our daily socialization, men didn't feel very inclined to be, to be very amorous about love and thing and thing. So most of it, we took the cues from the movies and from the love songs and thing. And especially, and those of us who grew up in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s became, Motown was our greeting cards. We will learn we learned lyrics from these people because we didn't hear it every day. And our thing was not disposed to that kind of sentimental kind of thing. So it was all right.
It's soft. You come off soft if you.
Yeah, so it was okay. What came out, so it was all right to the time, the signs of the times thing and what was taking place, whether it's 2 7s clash or bam bam or what is up. But the love songs now was what was giving us the problem.
Challenge. We weren't accustomed to talking about love in that way.
Exactly. So the producers in their well-thinkingness went and said, listen, let me go get some love songs from here for you guys to cover until we get some writers who can write them, ready to write them with the because you have to be vulnerable to write love songs. That's one of the most important. You can't be writing it from this unless you're talking about that. But like Colin Chana said, vulnerability is the essence of love songwriting. In other words, you put yourself in a place where you can get hurt, you've been hurt, or you're looking for better deal. And as boys in Jamaica, we were cheering, that is not a place to go. So it is not surprising that we weren't producing love songs of a certain nature in the early days of the music industry.
No, that is so important, Mikey, that question of culture, because we were not acculturated to really express love in a particular way. And so that gave us a little difficulty, as you say, at first, to really express. you come across
think she's gone.
you come across soft because we supposed to come with militancy. We're gonna take a break, Mikey. We're gonna come right back, musically speaking, talking with Mikey Bennett about covers. My Boy Lollipop, the year was 1964 when Millie Jackson took the world by storm. Millie Small. I mean, that was the music of Ernie Ranglin. Boy, that was a classic. And to think it was a cover. Yeah? It was a cover. Barbie Gay did that cover about 8 years before, and nobody seemed to have known about it. Chris Blackwell introduced it to Ernie Ranglin, and Blackwell will tell you that this song is perhaps the foundation, really, of Island Records. He said it's his favorite song because this tune really was the song that paved the way for everybody else. It made all the money that launched the career of Bob Marley, U2. I mean, so many big stars. This one song, My Boy Lollipop. It's something that when you think about it, a cover song, an unknown song, and somebody just take it and repurpose it, and that was it. Mikey, what do you think about that?
Well, as a songwriter, that is what I hope for. I mean, every time a phone ring at a certain time of the night or day, you're hoping that for that call, that
somebody cover me.
Somebody to cover in one of your songs. No, that is really the thing, because like I said, is this song, the music industry is about this song. Everything else everybody else just play is a side role. This song. And this song is going to outlive all the singers and all the players because that's the nature of the game. So a good song is a good song is a good song. I mean, when you think about my boy from Trinidad, Lord Creator.
Creator, oh yes, Kingston Town.
We were getting a call from them people, UB40.
UB40. Yes.
Yeah, we're doing 5 of your songs on the next album. And here is a little check. The man says trust me, it was like Christmas mix up in everything.
No, but
it's a life-changing phone call.
No,
because he had written some great songs.
But Creator had written Kingston Town before
Exactly.
he came to Jamaica, you know.
Yeah,
and,
man.
he wrote the song, and when he did it for Clancy, everything was forgotten. And Creator went down to Trinidad, you know, went back to Trinidad, you know, and he got a visit from Clancy. And Clancy said to, you know, when he saw Clancy, he was, you know, a little worried because, you know, maybe things weren't so well with him and Clancy. And Clancy said, I have something for you, man. And that was the first check from UB40. Kingston out. I mean, he came back to Jamaica, Lord Creator, and he's living quite well because of one song. The same thing with Winston Francis, Fix It. I mean, UB40 did Fix It over, and I mean, we know the rest is history. You know, I mean, he called me and he said to me, boy, this song changed my life forever. This cover from UB40.
But that's what, yeah, it happens. I mean, it happens on many occasions. I mean, we have a lot of even recent things that it happened in Jamaica. But that's what it is now. When you write a good song, you just write a good song. I mean,
and
you're lucky sometimes the right person hear it, and you know what I mean.
And it was years after that UB40 rediscovered the song and put it out. And that's a fascinating thing about a good song, Mikey.
Exactly,
You will write a good song, sometimes it stays in obscurity for a while, and then all of a sudden somebody finds it and they repurpose it, and you have a classic. Now there's another thing about covers, Mikey, that I would like to discuss with you, and that's the whole question of people recovering their songs. Bob Marley was very good at that. He did over a lot of his songs, and I suppose that has to do with marketing, whereby you might have a specific song, but you figure that you have to repurpose it for a different market, and you might have to do different things with the songs. I mean, you would find that some of Marley's international grooves would tend to have guitar riffs which were kind of rock sounding and different from the old Coxsone days. You want to talk about that a little bit?
All right. So a lot of it has to do with technology as well. I remember being in America, being in a radio station, top radio station, and when the people realized, you know, my catalog, they were trying to play one of the early songs. And let me tell you, the most embarrassed person in that room was me. It never sounded good at all. Trust me, it wasn't mastered for top 40 radio. It just didn't sound, it didn't match up. And I can imagine that where Bob Marley's career was going to. And he realized some of the works he had done in the early days of the 4 tracks and the kind of lesser level of technology that was applied. Because we were, in the early days, Jamaica was probably 10 years behind the rest of the world in terms of technology. We were there creatively and we were going through, and we had some causes that was getting into the world, whether it's anti-apartheid thing, Rastafari, just injustice and love. But the quality of the music wasn't standing up. There's a great thing with Chris Blackwell when he was saying that when he got Bob's first album, if it was no, he would have just put it as it is, same way. But Bob was new, so he brought in the people of the time, the overdubbers, the musicians of the time who had songs on the chart, and said, listen, too many new things here. We want to make sure that when sonically it connects with radio. So a lot of time technology, and then sometimes some bad relationships, some of the relationships were made. You did a song for a producer who don't have, the wherewithal or the thing to repurpose it. So you do it on your own because you didn't sign a document. A lot of things. So a number of reasons why a lot of things were happening. I mean, today with amongst a lot of people who doing songs and not hearing, and not getting no royalty and things. So they decided to do it over.
No.
Sometimes not as good because sometimes the earlier one was better. So it's a number of reasons why people repurpose songs. But like I say, the thing is driven by, as you know, Clyde, because you have been there. When you get to a certain level where the record companies dealing with a certain level, they have people who they get information from time to time. They have pluggers who play a song one night and call in and say, listen, if you guys remix this song, you could have a hit on your hand. And because that same person had told them the same thing a couple years ago and it resulted in a hit, they listen, they believe in them. So there's a number of reasons why songs are repurposed. Some songs were just were before them time then, if you understand what I'm saying. And sometimes even the time in terms of what the audience was ready to hear or to listen to,
right,
or just where the artist was in terms of his
emotion.
Yes, and where as an artist his acclaim is, where the marketplace are ready to embrace him and the strides that he has made and things. So I'm not surprised, and it's something that I actually recommend that people revisit them songs, and you have access to better producers, to better things and better mixers. They just remix it. Sometimes they need to be, the vocals are precious. You hang on to it and you change everything else. So a number of things cause that.
Mikey, you speak about the sonic quality of songs produced out of Jamaica as a major concern. And I know that it was something that was brought to my attention a number of times when I used to navigate the international space. And they would say, when you sometimes put a song on a board, a Jamaican song, and you see the levels and it's going all over the place, and you see all the spurious and all of that kind of thing. Do you think we have reached a stage now where we're in better control of those arrangements, or things are just as bad as they were before?
Well, you could categorize the Jamaican exports in about 3 or 4 categories. You have some that are worse than, obviously, because we have a couple really good engineers here, and then they're mastering counterparts in first world that do the mastering for radio. Because radio is a very important thing in terms of that level of marketing records. What we have in Jamaica is a whole pile of things that not even trying to get to radio, both lyrically or just technology. So that whole 6, 7, 8 hour mixing that we used to do and then mastering, a lot of it not happening no more. People just doing a thing because just them trying to make it sound as loud as possible. But radio, international radio, top 40 radio, has some some conditions under which they're not playing the song.
Yes.
You have to meet certain sonic criteria before it is played. So the first thing a distributor or a record company is going to do is make sure that whatever they are releasing on your behalf or we think is going to meet that standard, so they can get rid of it. So, and sometimes I believe the other ways. I mean, we have been, Gussie and I was in England one time, and DJ was complaining that some of the songs sound too clean.
Yeah,
when
because
against in studio one thing, just show it up so much. So
right. I mean.
So there you want the old time, the booga, and
yeah, because no, and I've heard that too, Mikey, where the people who are doing the mixing and mastering would say to me, we can't make the songs too bright. It has to be flatter, because I mean, sonically, reggae is not something that is supposed to be as bright as pop and all of that. You hear that kind of, you hear that. I mean, I used to have that kind of discussion quite often when doing projects with like Virgin and Sony, because they have notions about how Jamaican music should sound, and what would happen sometimes is that what they think might not always be in consonance with what we are thinking in terms of how we want it to sound. And I think that caused a lot of problems with marketing.
Our breakthrough artists have always had that challenge, have always had that little part where people said they were selling out. They said it about Bob, they said it about Third World, they said it about quite a few people. In other words, that you're selling out because you think sound tinny or sound a certain way. But that is what is required at certain levels. Fine. what people have done, and then if you notice, we after a while, there was this in the 90s going on in the early 2000s, when people were releasing singles, they would have 3 or 4 mixes on it. You had a club mix, you had a radio
mix.
You had and then later on, they had a dance hall mix. So now for the stuff that we did for like Colombian thing, had all 3 or 4 mixes on it because they were trying. They realized how important the ethnic
the different segments, of the market,
the ethnic population was, and how the diaspora. Without the diaspora, a lot of things would not have taken place. So you had to keep the diaspora happy in terms of the sound man, even the college radio people and things. Because like I said, the thing is about when you're playing one song against the other one. So it's nice when you're on a station where everything is at a certain quality, standard. But when you're playing the same song on a college station, when playing everything, and it just sounds and
it sounds odd. It sounds really. You have a real problem. Yes. They
had a problem. So the wise distributors and things say, okay, we have to keep that section, that market, because they're the ones who supporting it, whether before or whether or not it got to the hit to that stage. And many more songs are going there and not making it over that hurdle than those that are, as you know by now. So that is the most important market for reggae, is that faithful ethnic pocket of thing.
Yeah, Mikey, there are some covers I can think of that you might not define them as strictly covers, but they are not original in terms of their lyrics. I mean, I think of Bob Marley's War, for example, and there are so many more. You could talk about Morgan's Heritage and The Lord's My Shepherd, and you could go on and on. These are covers too, but they are, the Book of Rules, Heptone's Book of Rules. These are covers, but there are different kinds of covers, eh? Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, but what there are songs that are overly influenced by other songs, right? The Little John of the song, what is that? When I call her up and apologize.
True Confession.
Big hit song.
True Confession.
And and he used a lot of the melody, which was a really cool melody. But I'm not even sure if I know the rest of the song.
True Confessions.
Yeah, he repurposed the melody. I mean, very effectively, and it happens all the time. I mean, Elephant Man does a good job of it too.
Yes.
So there is that, and a lot of times people don't think it is plagiarizing them, or even think that
right.
They ought to,
or give credit. And in some instances, those works, the lyrics and so on, would have gone into the public domain, and so they might not see it necessary to give any credit.
That is true. That is true too. But I mean, still, even with public domain, you still. You should give credit. But I mean. But then again, But you see, then again, radio. Radio have to take some of the things. Radio really didn't give out a lot of information in the early days about songwriters.
Yes, that's
so.
True.
In other words, people just sang, and everybody just assumed that the person singing the song was the writer of the song, and that the music wasn't part of the copyright of the song, So you could have taken a little piece of the melody and repurpose it, or take a little piece of the lyric and repurpose it. I mean, because that's what I mean. I remember what the sound in the sound system. What used to happen is that a DJ would have come up with a lyric and do it, and the singer would have used either the same melody and do something similar, just like a change. So it's something that has developed out of from the early days of the music, without people not even thinking about plagiarization or infringement or even copyright.
But Mikey,
so
you think the size of our market could have been the cause for the relegation of the songwriter, because in our system you don't have enough to divide between the songwriter And you think that is the case?
No, I don't think. I don't think so.
What do you think is the
the
reason?
the music industry has conspired and will continue to conspire to point everything at one person, the singer.
The singer, okay.
The artist. That is the whole purpose of market. As you know, the purpose of marketing and things. I mean, till later on, all of that, you know when that changed? That changed with Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones. Mm-hmm. When Quincy Jones got up there and got this big acclaim as producer, we never even think about producer them time. And then the songwriters come in. And when you listen to a lot of the foreign artists, one of the things that they do when they're doing the show, they refer to the writers of the show. It is very strange to us. You know, the first time I heard it was in England with David Rodigan. And I was saying, yo, this make a difference. In other words, he's playing a song and it's like all of the information about the songwriter and thing. And I am sure that if more songwriters got big ups and people spoke about the potential earnings of songwriters, more people that get into songwriting. If teachers in high school and thing identified young people from in a literature class and said, listen, you should think about writing songs, we would have a much better industry. Because that is the biggest weakness we have, you know. Songwriting and performing and performance. Nobody don't want to talk about the performance, but we have about 5 good performers in Jamaica. But we have, it's just part of the industry that everybody just take for granted. All right, everybody that's just afraid of even talking about.
Yeah, because now there's an issue of criticism that is a feature of many other music markets, you know, where people criticize songs technically. But I think if you do that in Jamaica, it would be seen as a takedown, and people would perhaps take it personally.
But like, just big up the ones that you like, you know. I mean, you see what happens that we never value it enough. We never value the whole industry enough. We never legitimize it enough. Or we say, all right, in a radio station, we're going to make sure we hire somebody whose job is to identify certain things. So when the DJ playing anything, here's a little note, you're playing the song, here's a little note coming and say, pay special attention to that thing, that line in verse 2. Because that is what the song is about. It's one line, make a hit song, you know. One line. Like the man says, one song, make a win a sound clash. Usually it's one line in a song that make a hit song, make it hit. Melodically, lyrical, that one, in film you call it the money shot. Without that one line and thing,
nothing happens.
That is what all of us striving for.
Nothing happens. I tell you, we could go on and on with Mikey Bennett today. We're talking covers. Percy Sledge, Cover Me.
Cover me. Spread your precious love all over me. Oh, can't you see the need in me? Oh, cover me. Cover me. Hide me. Hide me. Where no other love can find me. Oh, I'm feeling cold. I need you so.
Cover Me. And let's hear the cover now.
Now hear this. All nice and decent celebrity crew. Hang on, for this is Ninja and Tinga passing through. Once again, come in, Tinga, Jamaica Percy Sledge.
Cover me. Cover me. Spread your precious love all over me.
Aye, boy.
Oh, can't you see the need in me?
I'm telling you.
Cover me. Cover me.
Baby girl.
Hide me. Hide me. Where no heart of love can find me.
You hear what the man say?
Cover Me. We were talking covers today with none other than the legendary Mikey Bennett, songwriter extraordinaire. Man, it was a pleasure. Mikey,
Yeah, man.
it gives me
really was.
it gives me thoughts about those days when we used to sit down up at the house and just reminisce about music.
True. We have to do it again.
No, we have to do this again, Mikey, because this was beautiful. Covers, the importance of covers in music, because a lot of us don't really understand that artists can use covers strategically to advance their careers. Now, of course, it can be expensive, because depending on whose cover you use, it might be expensive. But in the long run, it can be very helpful. And as Mikey indicated earlier on, if you are able to cover the song and do it in a way that is novel and is really exceptional, then you have a winner there. It's a win-win situation. Mikey, I'm going to give you the last word about the covers. Just give me a little wrap up on the covers.
Well, listen. This imitation is the greatest form of, flattery, I think. Covers is a high form of appreciation, showing appreciation and respect for a piece of work that I wish I had done. Put it that way. Every now and then I hear a song that I wish I had written, and I say, wow. So covers pay respect to songs. So it's all of music business. It's all about the songs. And covers, a well-done cover, is one of the things that make the whole thing work, make the whole mill go round from time to time.
But would you say covers make the song work, but that don't make you work as a songwriter? Because if a man cover your song...
No, but I'm saying covers, you're thinking about covers in one direction. I am here hoping that I get a call next week that somebody has covered one of my songs. And
that not stopping you from creating new songs either?
No. Songs, no, man. No.
No, and that's the important thing. It because, as you say, we can take things, because you've said something before, Mikey, about writing, and that writing is about rewriting. And
great writing is rewriting.
Great writing is rewriting. So, in other words, in a lot of instances, when you're creating new works, you're really covering some of your old works. Some works that sometimes people don't know.
That too. But let me tell you, but we can look at another part of the thing. You're an artist and you doing an album, right? And as you know, every song on the album gets paid. When it's paid, every song is treated the same way. If you have one good cover on the album that will sell the album, you're doing yourself a great favor. You're the producer doing yourself a great favor. That song is going to sell the album. And although everybody knows that's the song that sells the album, when royalties are calculated, all the other 9 songs get the same amount. Share a similar amount. And that's a reality. So it's like a safe bet.
And that's one of the things that brought down the record labels one at a time, because when they used to use one song to sell the whole album. Mikey Bennett, this is an amazing discussion. We could go on and on and on and on. Thank you so much, my brother.
Yeah, man.
And I look forward to having you again.
All right. Respect.
Musically speaking, that's the program. Bridge 99 FM. Wow, that was quite a talk with Mikey Bennett there on covers. Well, who do we have here? A controversial pioneering figure in Jamaican music. A man who I happen to call my friend, yes. We go a long way back. This is an outstanding producer, a man who has made his mark and has so many stories about Jamaican music figures and characters. And he has played such a significant role in the development of Jamaican music. And it would be remiss of me not to mention this man as a father. Because, believe me, this man has demonstrated to me just what it means to be a father. When one sees Niney and his son Winston, who, some people would call special needs, but he's a very smart fellow, and how Niney deals with Winston and the love he shows, I mean, you can just only sit in awe and wonder, what kind of a man is this? Niney Holness, what, my brethren?
Me there, you know.
90 there here with in all his, you want to
leave.
and you say 90, you can't say 90 eyeglasses. You know 90, him always never listen. Him always have to make a fashion statement. You understand? Mm-hmm. But Blood and Fire, that is something we associate 90 with, you know, because 90 is a militant kind of man, you know, and that tune was something that really defined 90 in the minds of many Jamaicans and people across the world.
True.
But 90, one of the things that people see as most notable about you as a producer is the work you did with Dennis Brown. Tell us a little bit about some of the things you did with Dennis Brown. We want to get a little bit about your association with Dennis.
Well, Dennis, when I speak about Dennis, even talk about Dennis, sometimes it grieves me, you know, but...
Grieve you? Why it grieve you?
Yeah, because a youth like that should be still living, you know, and I know it's not, so the father did say to go with him, but, you know, they said, cow won't hear, woe, his head belongs to the butcher.
Cow won't hear, him head belongs to the butcher.
Yeah.
I never hear that one yet,
Okay.
90. You have one, you teach me one today.
Okay.
Good.
Now, Dennis Brown is the nicest fellow I ever met. And when he come into intelligent, he well intelligent. Dennis Brown is not a man. I never seen war yet. I never hear him curse a bad word yet from I be around him for much years. But him find himself into a situation where, you know, he just find himself in there, and I don't know. And the devil just come and say, hey, you is the man, you know, and I need you. And him don't say no, him just go with it. And this is how him end up. But Dennis Brown, every day I wake up, and every time I speak, I have to speak of Dennis Brown, because let me tell you, that guy, when he come on to singing, respect, he got it. And if you listen to all of his song, you can hear him in his singing. You can know that this guy is not just a common fool that you see on the street.
You spent a lot of time with Dennis.
Yeah.
At one time, you guys occupied the same house.
Yeah, we live in we live in a house for 10 years. Probably 12 years, me and him lived together. Mm-hmm. And when I met Dennis, I always said, Dennis, listen this now. We live together, and we deal with spiritual things, not wake up in the morning and talk about stupid things. We talk about what this world is, what this world is, and where we going, and where we would like to end up. And he even said to me one day, that Skipper, you know what me like? I would like to build a hospital for kids. That's Dennis Brown, hospital for kids. And I said, yes, Dennis, good idea. So we have to talk about that kind of talking about righteous things, right? We don't have we're not speaking anything that we know out of whatever boundary or whatever. We just, everything is God we're dealing with. We said there must be a father. I remember one day I said to him that, Dennis, how you come in this world? He said, you come by mother. I said to him that, okay. I said, you came by your mother. Yes, it's true, but you feel there is a God? Or you feel there's a creator that create the heavens, they say heaven and the earth? Or you don't see the heaven, but you see the earth, and the earth is heaven. Do you feel they have a creator that create this, the universe, that a man that control this world, like how you know your father, and your father say, hey, I control this house. Him says, Skipper, big point to make there, And I said to him, tell me how you feel. He said, yes, Skipper, I feel that. And he make one suggestion, and he say a word. And I said, no, Skipper, I don't believe what you said, right? So I believe it, but there's something greater than that. Because guess what? There must be a man who control this world, right? They said, everybody said God, and God, people said no God or no this, but I believe there's a man. Because listen this now. If you have your mother, one mother you have, but your mother have a mother, and your mother
have a mother.
Mother have a mother.
Yeah.
And your mother again, grandmother have a mother.
And it goes
and
so,
great down, it go great down. So where it start from?
So let me ask you a question. When you and him have all of this discussion, it ended up with music.
Okay, yeah, yes.
It ended up with music.
Yes. It ended up. Because
and I want you to tell me some of the songs now that came out of that kind of experience.
Love and hate can never be friends. Oh no.
Here I come
with love and not hatred.
Surely goodness and mercy shall. It was a ritual. Mm-hmm. Dennis Brown at Reggae Sunfest, at Reggae Sunsplash rather. And he would come out at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you hear love and hate can never be friends. Yes. And then you see him run out and start shaking all the hands. And the sun bright up in the sky.
Yes.
Yes.
Many songs.
Big song that.
It's come like, we go as far to where we go as far down to sometimes the devil. Something happened and we know that the devil tried to intervene. And we come up and said, wolf and leopard, yeah.
The wolf and leopard.
Trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd.
Bad tune that,
we go down them kind of rollers. So Dennis Brown was the man that, with Dennis, I don't see no other singer more than like Ken Bood, to me. Man like Jimmy Cliff. Those type of singers.
You and Jimmy are very close, but
yes,
I want to play a Dennis Brown before we go any further. Can you
No one. No one.
We know you have a whole heap.
Play Dennis.
Play Dennis. Just play Dennis. Just play Dennis. D Brown. Emmanuel Brown.
Yeah.
The man himself, Emmanuel Brown. Should I? Big question. Niney, I want you kind of give us a look at what it was like being in studio with Dennis Brown. Describe any one of those songs that you worked with Dennis, and just tell me what the studio session was like. Just give me any one of them.
There's so much songs. There's so many songs that, Clive, there's so many songs.
Yeah, Niney, go ahead.
And there's so many history.
Yes, man. I want to get some. I want the people them want to get some of the history.
That, if I tell you about each individual song, it's tough.
Any one, man. Just choose any one and tell me.
From when we and Dennis in studio, you see what happened with me and Dennis. When I in studio with him, I have to set the rhythm before, even him coming. Even before him come in studio sometime, I have to go work the rhythm them before he come up and appear in front of the mic to sing one of those songs. And I always have the best musician them. People never rate them when I have them, but
man, like who you have them?
Like
Fullwood.
Yes. Man like Chinna.
Earl Chinna Smith.
Yes. Man like Tony Chin.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to call Santa.
Yes.
Drummer.
Santa on the drum, yes.
Yes. And we have Guy Argan, and we call him C. C is the man we call him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I used to do my show before I even go in the studio, because China know this when they live down Gwyn Farm. And Tony, for the father, have a house down there. I used to go down there and create the rhythm then before I go in studio. And I remember one day, Mr. Randy Chin, him said to me that he never liked me.
Mr. Randy Chin is from VP Records.
Yes, he never liked me. The reason why, I know that. And I tell Miss Pat the other day, say he never liked me. He never have no love for me. The reason why, him claim that him have a studio, and when I come there, I take 1 hour and get 3 hit songs.
Say the man now make no money, man.
So,
you expect the man for like you, Niney?
No. I could work with him. But him ask me what kind of aisle may use. What kind of aisle? Where
You mean like science aisle?
Science aisle, yeah. So, you know what I mean? What kind of aisle you use, Niney? So I'm not using no aisle, I mean.
So you mean that make you work so fast?
Yeah, you want to know how me come in there and get 3 hits?
I'll make
for 1 hour.
Fast.
For 1 hour.
Oh.
Right?
I'll make tune in an hour.
Yeah, but he never come and say to me, Niney, tell me what you do to get 3 hits in an hour.
So tell me what you used to do, Niney,
So,
3 hits.
What I used to do with China and all my musicians, when they live at Green Farm, I used to go there and I rehearse the songs them that I'm going to do with Dennis. I'm going to rehearse the song that I'm going to do with Ken Bood, even Silver Words, and I make China them set a pattern. And that pattern, like new song, like we go out for, even Cassandra, you can hear the guitar, ching it, and then we rehearse the songs.
Ride on, Cassandra,
yes.
Ride on.
Yes, we go there.
Ride on.
And we do all these things. So when I feel I have a beat, I said, gentlemen, we're going to put them down tomorrow. Randy's. So everybody come.
So you're well prepared before you go. So it was not aisle thing.
No.
It's just preparation and rehearsals.
Yeah, but him never asked me. If he asked me, Niney, how you get to hit them like that, I could tell him, but him never asked me. Him just come up and say that. So I just make him feel away there and still fear me. You know what I mean?
So him figure you as a Wobia man.
Yes.
Yeah, and all you were was a good businessman.
Okay. When Miss Pat put that, I think Miss Pat write the book and put that in it too. Yeah, I mean, that little part of it, yeah, with him husband, with our husband. So, this is it. I did have to go and set pattern for Dennis because I did love Dennis so much, right? I love him so much that I decided that him gonna be the best. I want him to be the best singer, okay? Michael Rose did come up after that, and Michael Rose tried to sing some song, and when him sing the song, I don't release them too. I think a few of them were Bridget happening and thing. Because him sound too much, him tried to sound too much like D Brown.
Well, a lot of people originally, before they found their voices, would sound like Dennis.
Every day.
We could list a whole slew of them.
Every Jamaican.
Because he was like the benchmark for singing.
Yeah, the whole Jamaican. Now, I see Jacob Miller come as Dennis in turn, Johnny Clark come in turn, all of them come in turn. Seeing? Because they find their way of the original way, so they keep go the original style. And I leave Dennis because he's only one man did near to Dennis. And I think Dennis take these 2 patterns, like Roman Stewart, because Roman Stewart was a great singer, and Dennis Brown loved how Roman sing. And some of the slow come off of Delroy Wilson. Right, him love that. So what I do with Dennis now, I never make him make Delroy Wilson slow them. I always make something and give him like, cut them. Yeah, ha. Boop, cut, and go right through, So him have a style now for himself, you know what I mean? So him work that style and him work it and him work it till he is Mr. Dennis Brown. Yeah?
Dennis was notorious as a man who was very difficult to control in terms of his schedule and recording time and all of that. How did you manage to keep him in line?
Lately, Dennis beat like that. Because, you know, when a star is a star, let me tell you this now. When a star is a star, sometimes you have to be strong. Yeah? And you have to have a man like beside him who's strong. And I never see none of them become strong because them is a yes man to Dennis. Everything is yes, Dennis. But again, listen this. Again, they come in and they spoil him. They all kind of things. They introduce him to all the badness of things. Okay? Dennis was the man who smoked, you know. Dennis was the man who you see they go take up something and smoke in front of nobody. Him do it, and him in the house. When me and Dennis meet, we have one Bible and we have 2 rooms, and then we have around 6 or 7 Bible in the house. Yeah? Plus a Bible that we did get from Robbie.
Robbie Shakespeare?
Yes, Maccabee. The Maccabee. That is where we take the song from, me and Maxie Romeo. You gave I King's Own version.
Bring back Maccabee version. Yes.
Because when me and Maxie read the book there one night, Maxie said, yeah. You know what I mean? And we wrote the book, but Robbie come back for the book. Yeah? He said, we want the book. But Dennis was the man where you see do things in front of that, because he always says, skipper, we can't do things that real people out there watch, you know. We have to different, you know what I mean? And we have to have respect where people respect I and I. But let me tell you, so much man start come at the house now and they have so many story and they give Dennis all kind of thing. And this is why now me did have to move out. Me did have to slip away, you know. It happened that me just say, because if I did wrong Dennis, I would be, I don't know what would be happening. You know what I mean? Enough things that happened to me. Probably me one day today. But me decide, say, me now follow the trainer right now. I said, it was sad to tell him, Dennis, right now, I'm going on my own. Okay? And I introduced him to Gibbo. I make the most song for Gibbo.
Gibbo is Joe Gibbs, you're talking.
Joe Gibbs, yes. I make the most song for Joe Gibbs. I write them, and I let him go.
And when he was with Joe Gibbs, he was signed to A&M Records.
Yes, that's the time he get the deal.
With Herb Alpert, yes.
He get the deal. And the time when he get the deal, the one name is Miss Maggie's son. That is thing that was managing. And he come to me one day and said, why, right now, what do you think, Skipper? I'm say, well, you know, Joe Gibbs trick him with a lot of things too, because Joe Gibbs buy a house him, and when we check it out, Bunny Lee come to me and say, hey, Niney, the house, what happened with Dennis' house? What happened to it? I said, I don't know. Because Dennis now tell me nothing, everything, you know? And Dennis, Bunny Lee said, Niney, you have to put on your foot because...
Niney, just hold on, because you have some stories with Bunny Lee, your brethren and our brethren, which we're going to have to go after this break here. So let's just take a break with Niney Holness, musically speaking. Niney Holness in the house. Musically speaking, that's the program on Bridge 99. In studio with me is none other than the legendary Niney Holness, a man who has done so much in terms of the development of modern Jamaican music, versatility, and believe me, Niney is still producing songs and he's performing songs. You talk about a man who is not ready to retire. That's not in Niney's vocabulary. Niney, you were talking about Dennis Brown and his relationship with Joe Gibbs and A&M as we were talking, because Joe Gibbs had a production deal with A&M, and Dennis was signed to Joe Gibbs. And A&M, Herb Alpert really loved Dennis Brown. But eventually what happened was that Dennis lost the deal with A&M. And that was so very sad, because there were really a lot of possibilities inherent in that situation, because the record label really had confidence in Dennis's talent, but apparently they weren't able to handle all the problems associated with him. Now, I don't know if you want to just finish up with the Joe Gibbs situation, because you made reference also to the great Bunny Striker Lee. And that is one of your long-time brethren,
yes,
our brethren.
Yeah, our brethren.
The great Striker. Now, Striker is a man who was with you from very early in the business. But it wasn't Striker who started you in the business. Who really started you out in the business? Tell me how that started.
Derek Morgan.
Derek Morgan, yes.
He was the first man come into a studio. Yeah?
Yes, I remember Derek giving us some stories a couple of weeks ago. We went to look for him, Niney. And him say him leave the store and give you.
Yeah.
And what happened when him leave the store and give you?
Well, he got to London, right? And so after I go to London now, me know Bunny say, well, you saw the strength there. Come with nice out the place. And Dan Penn them and everybody around the place. So, him say, yeah, you Niney, be the salesman. Dan must be the man who collect the money. Right? And I'm going to be the traveler, London and where, because I'm a friend, Striker, I love Striker. And scratch the whole of the man them down and thing like that. I say, okay. So I say, all right, I gotta run the thing now. Because them time there, tune they make. And then Bunny is a man where him have all, him have a crew named the Chicken Crew. Him have different crews.
The Tricking Crew?
Chicken.
The Chicken Crew. Well,
yeah.
them love about chicken.
Yeah, man. When they go through that, then you down at Tops.
Tops was a restaurant.
The Tops chicken place.
Yes.
It's all 12 bucks and 20 odd bucks of chicken, all them things that they buy. And one night, we work all night,
Mm-hmm.
So, the girls, them name the Chicken Crew. So, when some beer.
Oh, so the girls, them involved too?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
Then, when you do it through, then you have enough girls around.
Oh,
yeah. Up here, man. When musicians, a girl, them play music extra.
Oh, yeah.
When them play music and blow a horn, you know what I mean? Some man they play all piano bust out and,
pure things.
Pure things are going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you have to have girls around. So Chicken Crew, them everybody around, and Bunny say, all right, England. And they leave England and say, watch out. You must write the thing now. So when I time now, my name is out there like.
So I want to just tell you, Bunny Lee, Striker Lee, who is a great producer, he is the brother-in-law of Derek Morgan.
Yes.
Bunny,
yeah. So
Derek is married to Bunny's sister, Nelly. Lovely woman.
I was in the same hand, in the same house. So, all of it was just nice. So,
yes.
In gone and we're in a foreign now and, in go and come figure, what I mean? Because he's a money seeker, so,
Striker?
Yes, man.
Him love money?
He make the money because then him have, look how much a win get against him. Him have all the champion them against him. Then have to go look, bring in the money and bring in it, man, to keep the thing run. A Striker lead in name, That time the company we him have, as Palmer record, him the run. It heavy. You know what I mean? And every man the feed off of that. All producer they come look things and look money and look that. Bunny, what happened? You have to help me and things like that. And then he put me in the studio now. He said, Niney, you make the song with them. So from this on now, me start now. And him just walking stick and him bowl hat and.
Oh yeah, Striker is a man with
and
in fashion sense is different with him hat and him suit.
Yes, and then a dozen girls there behind him and you know what I mean? Walk and him daft and things like that. And him come at the studio come visit me and say, what happened? When he come there, he hear some tune, him say, Niney. Him says, what? I'm married and take off him hat and fling all the thing. I said, what? Murder, we murder.
Murder them, Niney.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So one day now, I remember Bunny turning on the contest one day. I said, I think they're going to start now. He come down and Leaper come down, the Bunny Lee driving Buick, full of girls, scratch him, drive him, Jaguar, full of girls and come and, you know what I mean? And then him have Pat Kelly, a Bunny Lee artist.
Yes.
But he come down here and say, hey, me I produce Pat Kelly, but me and Slim Smith a friend.
But Slim Smith was also Bunny big artist too.
Yeah.
From around Greenwich Farm there.
Yeah. But me and Slim Smith now, they go work. And me have a tune with Slim Smith where me know say it's a hit tune and me go record. But so Scratching come in at the thing now. Although I'm a producer for himself and he having thing, but him just want to run something the night a contest with me. So Bunny Lee say, start now. Everything start now. Drink on the show start and when they bring in all the girls, them and Scratch, drink up and have him think the feed Kelly and him drink rum and throat and mixed drink and say drink and murder Slim and I gotta take care of Niney, little boy over here, so and thing like that. So that's all right. So Mr. Striker, me go on first. And Striker say, yeah? I say, all right. Mr. Slim come. So me just said to Slim, say, all right. Cool round the back and cool and nice, I say, me soon come. So me have Hansi Collins now. Hansi Collins can tell you about that night. That him not diet. He can tell you about what happened the night. So me have Hansi Collins run and wrap them and thing and me set a rhythm. Set it and when it start cook and me cook it and me cook it and me cook the rhythm. Cook it till me say no, the man them say Niney, no. And Slim come in and put on the track. So when Slim put on the track now, the track was the one there, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. That's why I do over that tune. I know you wanna leave me, but I refuse to let you go. And
Ain't
then,
too proud to beg.
And then boom 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 boom
Yes.
boom 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 boom. You right? So Scratch now take on Kelly and the movement now and do if it don't work out.
Yes.
So when Bunny come, Bunny said, no, it's really weird. You know, Niney should I get a comedy award for this rhythm and Scratch never like it. So Scratch and Pat Kelly didn't know and them voice and when them voice me, yes, Scratch go whisper now. Bunny yes say, listen, I want to cut off of this rhythm. And me tell Bunny say, no, don't give him it. Put out a two rhythm me make Slip Away and Proud to Beg. I said put out Proud to Beg on 45 and keep Slip Away upon the rhythm. But Bunny go give him the rhythm. And he just take the rhythm and just put their back upon it and call the Prisoner of Love and hit number 1 in England.
But let me ask you a question. let me ask you a question, Niney. Because you and Scratch Perry go even further than you and Striker Lee because when you come from down the west there. Tell me about that.
Well, Scratch is a man now. Him used to do welding, you know. And Scratch used to drive the tractor, plow, clean the land them and things like, you know. There was a man that name with all the big company them down there. And Green Island, the whole of them cane farm and banana farm and things like. But Scratch, give it to him, you know. Him good. Him terrible.
You mean terrible as we're not talking music now, you're talking about as a driver?
Anything going on, man. Anything him take up. If him is a policeman, they're gonna be the best police. And if him driver, they're gonna be the best. Because I'm telling you now, Scratch will see a big tree right here, and the tree gone all hang over the road and gone over it, and him just come out and he look on it and say, yes, I'm gonna put on the tree. And him just come out, and when him starts dig, so and dig with the tractor and grow on it, him just put the tree same place when he go put it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So him good. He's a man where if him say something, him good. So I know Scratch before he married. I know Scratch was a preacher.
Scratch was a preacher too?
Yes. Nobody know that.
Eh?
Nobody know that.
That heard when him down the west there?
Yeah. Me know, but nobody know that. Not in Bunny Lee didn't know. His wife was an Indian.
Yeah?
Yes.
And okay. Scratch was a dancer too, don't it?
That's the best. In mashed potato them days. Him have a dance that him call it mash. When the chicken scratch, that's why they call him chicken scratch. For when they scratch, you know, in a foul they scratch.
Oh, so him get the name Scratch.
Yeah.
Oh, because him could do the chicken scratch.
Yeah, he good, you know. But me and him always musically all the while we connect. and all the while we collapse. You know what I mean?
just like you're a striker.
Yeah. I mean, the travel is like that. The travel is like that. Sometimes the travel war, and sometimes two of them turn down for me. Sometimes me turn down for a man join me, turn down for Scratch. Sometimes Scratch join me, turn down for Bonnelly. The travel in a thing, you know what I mean? So you couldn't take that. Joe gives just a man now where them beat up every day. Yeah. But through me now deal with the fighting and things like that.
But Scratch is a man we love. I mean, Striker is a man we love fight.
Yeah, man. He love it. Like Buck.
Buck, man.
Yeah, Buck. Sometimes Buck, you stay Buck. You know what I mean? Yeah, because one day touch me, you know. With them bucking thing. I never expect it. You know what I mean?
Hey, but Striker, I mean, but Striker was really a force to reckon with, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Striker do a tune against you, him and Bob Marley.
Yeah, man, him and Bob.
Eh?
Yeah, him and Bob. No, them did say certain thing, I mean, I agree with it. And then he said, see, Niney come there. Then call me a kind of name, Coty, Fall, Diff, you know what I mean, and Bob, I mean, I won't answer them. Because, you know, one day I write a tune, say, hey, I tell Bob, say, you see you, anytime I come out with certain thing, you top sing. And he never trouble me again. He come look for me and say, watch out. Of them, they say, me if you say that about you know. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Them, they say, me say that. And I say, Bob, you can't say them things about me, you know. And then me tell him, me say, give me a line away you give me. Right? And me give him the line, right? And that's why him say, we don't know war. So when me do in the ghetto, and me do in the ghetto, him go back or lick in the ghetto and use my bass line. And boom, 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 and just touch my tune and said, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing gonna be. And me and him become friends. And say, watch out, me have a money for you, you know. And he just give me a pool. You know what I mean? Because at that time they travel Zimbabwe and them things. I said, we're done with them war thing there now. So right now, Niney, me and him there and him say, listen, we're done with it. Touch a little thing for you and a big money make. Whole lot. Him said to me, say, me they go to Jamaica and me contract done with Ireland. So me go to Jamaica and me they go write and you they go sing. No, him say, him they go write and then me they go produce. And then the two of you go be the richest thing. And me say, all right. So him say, you know, say me send for my Benz already with my name in there and things like that. So you come down. The time me and Ken Boo to England, the time I went hotel and we there and there. That time of them days are pure leather we wear. Me and Ken, pure leather and silk shirt. Some silk shirt will not sound like a matches box. Ken can't tell you.
Can hold that matches box?
Yeah, man. Silk, pure silk. Red silk, black silk, every silk and leathers. We kind of London kind of a little bit, whatever.
Yes.
And we there in London. He said, leave London, man. So him start to box and say, oh, you punk, where you come up with a leather this and leather that. Him say, I have to try too. I go get 2 leather for him too. Some leather you see him have, and you know.
So you sort out, Bob?
Yes, I'm saying they come to Jamaica. And when he come down there, that him they go do, and me and him they go make the most money. And when we realize, man, me check it, them come, me say, last show me go do, Majesty Square Garden. And he said, the last, me done the album. So last show I'm going to do in Majesty Square Garden, Niney.
That was the show with the Commodores in the 1980.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And he said to me, everything cool. Can we go on a Chris Blackwell and meet a girl named Denise, was Chris' secretary. He said,
Denise Mills.
Yes, he said, Denise, Niney will come down, give my ticket, so and so and so and so and so. And then he said, all right, when you're ready for going. So when we line up now, if you come in now, me hear news now, say, Bob did a drag in a Central Park.
Central Park, yeah.
And him take sick. So all the place where you go now and receive it, they run up and down and thing. And I say, him say, Bob, you're German. So when I ask Skill, go and say, Skill, what happened? Skill say, boy, Niney, the show over. And me and Bob the drag in that Central Park. And, you know, me tease him, me drag, and me cool for Bob did love them thing now. Skill was Bob idol.
No, because Bob always wanted to be a footballer.
All right.
He loved football. Okay. So he idolized Skill.
Yes. So Skill say when him the drag now and the drag now, Skill they tell me say the drag. And then now, Bob, you see Bob they come, and when Bob near him, drag again faster, and he just see Bob drop. And when him turn back and look at pure fraud, him see a Bob mouth and things like that. And then now, from there so, there's no Bob, because me can't reason with him no, you know?
Yeah, for those who might not know.
Yeah.
Skill is Alan Skill Cole, great footballer.
Yeah, so.
Big up Cherry.
Yeah, so that's why Rita now, me just stick with Rita. And that's why me and Rita.
Yeah, man, no, Rita, your big friend.
Yeah, that's why I go Africa with Rita. They arrangement for she go Africa. Because children come around and have to take away every this and that. I have to say, Rita, studio, fix up the studio. I made the song with her when they nominate for the Grammy. And, me and Rita start move. Me and she move different, you know what I mean? Like, may I tell you, me and Rita sleep in one bed, one house. We have travel go all Africa. Because we know so we have to get 2 planes. Boom, 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 boom. We stop so we sleep at this hotel. Next thing we have to wake up now, catch another plane and go in.
No, I know you love Rita.
Yeah,
I know it's one of your favorite.
I tell you something. When I go in with Rita the time and we are hit Africa, I said to Rita when we get to Nigeria, I said, Rita said some great people. How the airports around? I'm saying, are you them come to see? I said, what do you mean they come to see me? I mean I stop in Nigeria. I Ghana me go. I said them they take the plane and follow you. And he said, she laughed because I like a French. You know what I mean? I said, you mad in the night? I said, no, I'm not mad. I say, you them the fella. So when me go down there now, I Ghana, me have fear suitcase, my suitcase but naturally and we move. And me just see around 6 man just come up. More 6 man and just grab her. So me drop the suitcase there and say, what happened? And when I man say, go, and they laugh. So me say, okay. So me drop the suitcase them and me follow them and things and them me just say, them amok where you sleeping. Me say a man come with the 4 of them. One on the shoulder, one man have one this one have this one have this one. And them just load it down. And them just catch her, whoop, and lift her up and throw in it.
Catch, you're supposed to be treated royally.
Yeah. No.
What?
Yeah, but hear me now. It now look to me like that. So when I try in the now, me hear a drum sound, boom, boom. And then me hear, ma, woo, and then it was sound. And when me look, my brother, me I tell you, the truth, me I tell you, God know, me see around 2,000 people. The drum with that lick, boom, 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 boom. Me see around 2,000 people. Bongo man tell about it. Me see around 2,000 people just surround her. And a pure powder in her face. Like a flow. About. Right? But the Bongo man now, he go up and say, boy, I may forget some of them powder, you know.
He want powder too.
You know, see, a rich business. You see, a rich thing, them and put off that. Because you hear me talk to Rita, say, don't you say no, Rita, when you come down here, they will cut off certain things off for you. For you know, say, them do want prisoner. You know that? The time. A jail and they want to say, you know. A prisoner want to say, so she used Bob Marley money at them time. They remember them time, man? And they want to send her a prison, say they will teach her a thing. And the whole of them they behind it. Mm-hmm. And the guy where the managed Bob Marley to when the name again?
Which one? Dan Taylor?
Dan Taylor, the whole of them they behind Rita for sending her a prison. You know what I mean? For Rita was treated bad, you know. Don't a tough gang, let me show you. You know, a tough gang, you know what happened? She couldn't even go in there. And me have to go down your course by the one day and say, hey, you think you Bob Marley? Wait. And then, so go, you know what I mean? And the man just say,
hey, no, me know Rita, one of your all-time.
Yeah.
Niney, I have to play another tune. I'm going to give another D Brown. But before I play the Dennis Brown, I want to tell people that Niney, in production, you know, Niney have some tune where Niney himself record, perform. You must hear them. That will be another program at another time. Niney is one of the most amazing figures I have known. But make we hear the Dennis Brown. Give me another Dennis Brown there. Ain't that a shame?
The greats.
Dennis Emmanuel Brown. Mm-hmm. Money in my pocket. You know, today is a very special day. Of course, we commemorate the 9/11 tragedy in New York. Of course, today also was the day when Peter Tosh was assassinated.
Yeah.
9/11. And it was also the day when Salvador Allende in Chile was killed. You know, it's a very, very special day. So, I mean, Peter was murdered. The great Peter Tosh was murdered on this day, 9/11. That was Jamaica's 9/11. And then, of course, as I said, we have the commemoration of that tragedy with the Twin Towers and all that happened elsewhere in the United States on that day. Special day of remembrance. Niney, we're wrapping up, but it was definitely a pleasure talking to you. And I mean, we can't talk to you for an hour because you have so much history. You have so many stories. You have contributed so much to Jamaican music that it's going to take a book. It's going to take a documentary. It's going to take so many things, Niney.
But remember, I don't cut you. Remember what we have doing, you know. We have a book, right? We have a book. We have a movie.
Yes, man.
And we have one album. It's just one album I given them, not two albums.
Yes, so it's a whole heap. So
yeah,
it's a whole heap of things.
I remember, so we start these work already. So gradually, we are come and do that when we get the things them together. Yeah, I mean, but we're not gonna really
said too much this time.
Too much this time. Yeah, we don't want to hear that. Special people know what's going on. Okay, like you, Bridget, Marcia.
Listen, Niney. This is going to be a great ride, man. I mean, it was really wonderful being here with you today, man, because you have so much to share and continue to share. And we are very, very thankful for your being here with us. And I want to thank all the people who made this possible today. Want to thank my better 90% Maxine. Want to thank Danelia Doyle, my producer. Want to thank Kevin Williams, the technical operator, Sean, Ferguson, Jerry, Howard, of course, Judith Bodley, and all of the people here who made it possible to have this show today. Thank you so much. And of course, want to thank Mikey Bennett, who was here for the first half of the show, and also to Niney Holness, who has taken us down memory lane. What a show it has been. It's Musically Speaking every Sunday at 12 on The Bridge 99. We'll be back with you next Sunday. So you stay with us.
And thank all the people that listen. You don't say that.
So, of course, Niney. You know, I would never leave without that. Want to thank you for staying with us for the past 2 hours, because we love when you're here with us. So long, Rastafari, I call you.
Babylon, you wrong. We send come call, not to jail you wrong.